So let's take a look at a couple of the solutions to your homework that you've been given this week. The first thing that we're going to look at, I'm not going to do every single one of these, but let's go ahead and do first number 2 and then number 1. Okay, so for number 2, as we know, when we have something like this, where you've got 3b cubed times 6b to the 4th times 6b to the 2nd, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to look at, all right, really important, we're just going to be dealing with properties of exponents because this is all multiplication. Okay, very important. Remember, the rules for multiplication and division are always going to be different from the rules for addition and subtraction. So these are our rules, properties of exponents for multiplication and division. All right, so the main thing that I want to do is I want to look at my coefficients, okay? And then I want to look at my powers. And so the thing to remember is that it's multiplication. So your coefficients are just going to be multiplied. 3 times 6 is 18, and then 18 times 6, let me do that real quick. I don't have a calculator sitting around or anything like that. 6 times 8 is 48, I think, and then 6 times 1 is 6, plus 4 is 10, 108. So our answer is going to be 108 as our coefficient. We're going to keep that b, and then we've got this property of these exponents. The exponents are all added. Whenever you're multiplying and the variable is all the same, you're going to add your exponents. 3 plus 4 is 7, plus 2 is 9. So our answer is 108b to the 9th. Okay, so why did I do 2 first? I did number 2 first because I want you to remember that when we're doing something like number 1, where we've got 8n times 2n to the 3rd times 2n, remember when there's not an exponent, it means that this has been raised to the first power. When there's no exponent, it means that it's been raised to the first power, kind of like with coefficients. So we're going to multiply our coefficients. 8 times 2 is 16, 16 times 2 is 32, and then when we add our exponents here, you've got to add 1 plus 3 plus 1, which is going to give you 5, of course. So we've got 32, we keep the same variable, and we raise it to the 5th power. Okay? 32n to the 5th, because this is really raised to the first power. Okay? All right. Moving right along. Number 5. I've got 5n over 8n to the 3rd. Well, the 5 and the 8, they're not going to go anywhere because there's no common factors between those two. We can't simplify those. But right up here again, we've got n to the 1 and n to the 3. So this is going to be 1 minus 3, which is going to be negative 2. Really what you're going to do is, let me show you how to think about this. This is going to be 5 times n on the top, and on the bottom this is going to be 8 times n times n times n. That's what n to the 3rd means. It means you multiply it by itself 3 times in a row. Well, what do we know from what we've been talking about these past couple of days? Well, really just this past day. We know that I can cancel one of these n's out with one of these n's, okay? Because n over n equals 1. And whenever I multiply times 1, I just get, the same thing that I started with. So I'm going to cancel this guy and this guy out, and I'm going to end up with 5 over 8n squared, which, by the way, is the same as 5/8 n to the negative 2 power. Because that's what the negative power means. It means you're on the bottom over there. I guess we can do number 7 real quick. 7, we've got 7x cubed over 4x squared. The 7/4 is going to stay there. And 3 minus 2 is 1, so it's going to be 7/4 x, or 7x over 4. Alrighty then.